Inkbound is a turn-based strategy roguelike game that heavily promotes party play but can also be played solo. But is it worth playing? Welcome to 5-Minute Reviews, where I attempt to give you an in-depth look at a game in 5 minutes or less so you can decide if it's worth your time. Let's start with the core gameplay loop. At the start of a run, you can pick between a quick run, which is sort of a default baseline game mode for players to get their feet wet, a challenge run, which progressively gets more difficult via modifiers after you win a run, and the daily challenge, which has special modifiers and rewards a large XP bonus upon daily completions. Players looking to challenge themselves should opt for pushing their challenge run as high as possible. At the start of a run, you and your party get thrown into a linear map and must decide on which paths to take in classic roguelike fashion. You select which path you want to take as an individual by clicking on the icon. Your character will shoot a beam at your chosen location. All players must select the same location to continue. You can start a battle in a similar fashion. Once a battle has begun, enemies will spawn in a sort of wave-based fashion. Each party member takes their turn simultaneously, which I personally love because the battles don't feel dragged out waiting for everyone to take their turn one by one. On the top left of the UI, you can see the HP of each party member, shield as denoted by a blue bar above the HP, damage they're going to take as denoted by a flashing portion of their HP bar. Below the HP bar is a character's will, which in this game is a sort of mana pool of sorts that decides how many skills you can play per turn. Combat entails avoiding enemy circle prompts by using movement abilities smartly while attacking the enemies via skills and their indicators. There are many status effects you can apply to enemies, but it never feels overwhelming, as you can see which enemies have which status and how much damage they're going to take from said status. Over at the bottom of the screen is your character's main bar. On the left, you have your skills. In this game, they're referred to as bindings. Next to your skills are consumables you can find throughout the run. These are one-time use items that will help you in battle. The center houses your character passive and trinket. On the right is your vestiges. Think of these as relics that grant you passive effects for your character. Players denote the end of their turn with the check mark button in the middle. A turn ends when all players have checked ready, and it becomes the enemy's turn. Make no mistake that even though turns are taken simultaneously, coordinating plays with your team will be key to getting the most strategic output out of the game, which makes for a fantastic blend of turn-based strategy mixed with the feel of action combat. Our average run completion lasted just over an hour. A typical run of this game will have you choosing where you want to go based on the rewards offered in a particular room. You use these rewards to power up your skills and get better vestiges in order to make your character more powerful. And oh boy, does this ever fulfill a fun power fantasy. You can get some really absurd synergies that make you feel really strong as you absolutely demolish enemies. And if simply augmenting skills and grabbing powerful vestiges wasn't enough for you, you also can gain set bonuses from vestiges as denoted on the right of your screen. If you ever played something like Teamfight Tactics or another auto battler, think along those lines. These set bonuses provide ever-increasing passive effects to make your character stronger. There's also ways to manipulate these set bonuses via vestige shredding, which consumes a vestige in order to grant its set bonus permanently, thereby freeing up space for other vestiges. Money in this game is known as Quillings, and there are a multitude of ways to earn it. You can also obtain a purple currency called glyphs. These are used to reroll ascensions and augments. All these systems combined promote player agency while still retaining the fun and random elements of roguelike design. As of making this review, Inkbound currently has 8 playable classes to explore, each with their own unique bindings, augments, and ascensions. You start with 4 characters unlocked and can obtain 4 more by completing in-game quests. Simply playing the game and completing quests will grant you experience for the overarching progression system in Inkbound, which grants you access to more vestiges, trinkets, and free cosmetics. Inkbound is currently $20 on Steam. Is it worth it for that price point? In my opinion, if you enjoy roguelikes and strategy games similar to Baldur's Gate or Divinity Original Sin, but not as dragged out, then Inkbound is a must-play. But a review of this nature isn't fair without talking about some of the downsides that the game has. Power scaling in Inkbound can feel a bit off. That one really overpowered augment can really set your build to God mode, and as a result you start blowing up enemy encounters. When a build gets to this point, it really feels as though the strategy aspect of the game is diminished greatly. Enemy and boss variety is also another area I think the game could improve on. But the currently existing bosses don't feel like boss battles in the sense that if you do the light mechanics they offer, there doesn't seem to be much of a threat. When I think of a boss battle in a roguelike or a game such as Slay the Spire or Binding of Isaac, I think, oh man, if I play this wrong or I come in with the wrong strategy, I'm absolutely going to get destroyed. And in Inkbound, things just don't feel that way. So I think these are 2 points of design that the developers could take a look at and adjust. Back on a lighter note, the devs have recently removed all microtransactions microtransactions from the game, a move which is almost unheard of in the industry. And if you're thinking that you won't purchase this game because they never should have introduced MTX in the first place, let me ask you this. How many developers nowadays care enough about player feedback to fully remove their in-game monetization? I believe that we as gamers should vote with our dollars and show our support when a developer makes an integrity move, such as Shiny Shoe has done with Inkbound. Even just scrolling down the Steam announcements page for Inkbound reveals communicative devs that truly care about their end product. So no, I don't believe they deserve to be punished for a mistake that was retroactively fixed at the cost of potentially losing out on profits. Inkbound is absolutely worth checking out. The game is fun, it's constantly being updated, and it seems to be aging like a fine wine. I'm confident in saying that it will be even better in the future. Thank you for watching this review. Like and subscribe for more content like this.